Awesome parable, lots of shock value. You can imagine the disciples are sitting there with their jaw open. How can you, Jesus, praise this? How can this guy be the hero of the story? So a couple things up front. Notice Jesus isn't praising the guy's dishonesty. He's not praising the guy wasting money. He's not praising any of those elements. What Jesus is saying is you need to look and take a lesson from this guy when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to his shrewdness of taking that little bit of time and that little bit of opportunity and leveraging it so that he can capitalize on that situation in the future. And I think he's telling his disciples this parable because believing people are notoriously bad with money. We're bad money managers. And it's not just believing people. I mean, you can just say most Americans are pretty bad with money. But, if the statistics are correct, which hopefully, you're the exception. But if the statistics are correct, most of us don't have any savings, at least not a significant amount. We're in debt up to our eyeballs. Debt is the number one cause of worry. Money problems are the number one cause of worry. It's the number one reason for divorce. Till death do us part, kind of idea. They need to weave that into the vows. We live paycheck to paycheck. We don't give. We're not generous. It's not, I'm going to buy it as soon as I get the money. For most people, it's buy it right now on my credit card, pay it off later. What we're doing with money right now is a pretty poor job of stewarding wealth. And so Jesus is telling his disciples this. Number one, I want you to think about money the way that God thinks about money, because if you want to please the Lord, then you need to think about money in a certain way. Number two, I want you to change the way that you're thinking about money so that it'll work for you instead of working against you, so that you can have money joys instead of money misery. And the first principle, or maybe the big takeaway from this parable, according to Jesus, the thing he wants his disciples to know, and the thing that we really need to understand if we're going to be shaped by this parable, is that our money is not our money. Just like on physical transformation, we said if you want to change the way you look physically, you want to become physically healthy, then you need to understand that your body's not your body, that it's God's body, that you were bought with the price. So you don't worship your body and you don't neglect your body, but you worship God with your body. Your body is temporary, that it's a stewardship, that you're accountable to God, and it's the same exact thing when it comes to your finances. Your finances are it's not your money, that it was given to you by God, that it's temporary wealth, that the money and the wealth and the things that we have right now, someday you're going to die, that wealth's going to go to somebody else, someday the world's going to end, it's all going to burn up. It's temporary, and we're accountable to God for how we use the things that he's given us. But when we shift from stewardship mentality to ownership mentality, several things happen. Bad things. We begin to behave in such a way that we're just like this dishonest manager. When we come to the understanding that it's our money, we can do with our money what we want to do, we end up wasting it, just like this money manager. He wasted his money. We end up loving money. Jesus says you can't serve two masters. You'll love the one, you'll hate the other. You'll be devoted to the one, you'll despise the other. And for a lot of us, we love money. It's just something about it. It's green. My favorite color. But really, you ever felt a $100 bill? The old ones, not the new ones. The new ones look cheap, but the old ones, oh, it just feels good, right? And you just, nothing like a bed of cash just to look at. Mind on my money on my mind. Just when we think it's our money, we begin to love it. And the worst thing that we do when we shift from stewardship mentality to ownership mentality, which is exactly what this dishonest manager did, we begin to trust in our money. Our security is based in our 401k, our retirement, our bank account. If I got enough house and enough money and enough things, then people will like me. Then I can be secure. Then I'll be accepted. Then I'll be okay. Even if everything else fades away, as long as I've got a certain amount of money in the bank. Whew. And all of those are symptoms that you've shifted from a stewardship mentality to an ownership mentality. And when you shift to an ownership mentality that is somehow my money, then you make certain assumptions that undermine a Christian approach to finances. So Jesus is saying, number one, you're a manager. That your wealth isn't your wealth, that it's borrowed wealth, and you're accountable to God for how you use every single dollar he gives you.